the 4th century AD, the Roman Empire was under pressure from barbarian tribes. Its borders were surrounded by Germanic and Gothic communities moving menacingly. It was at this point that the great wave of migration stopped. One of the most significant events in history did not happen. With this single change, Rome was saved from its known destiny and took a different path. Welcome to this alternate tale. With the migration period not happening, the Western Roman Empire continued to exist. In fact, Rome established a new political order by slowly integrating tribes like the Goths and Vandals as allies rather than enemies. This allowed the empire to rest on more solid foundations. As the empire maintained its stability, the Dark Ages did not happen. Roman law, engineering, and philosophy continued to develop throughout Europe. Cities were not abandoned, roads did not fall into disrepair, and literacy rates remained high. The empire's cultural and linguistic structure also evolved differently. The Latin language remained the common language not only in Italy but throughout all of Western Europe. Germanic languages continued their development in the shadow of Latin. This allowed for the preservation of the continent's cultural unity. Rome developed new tactics and weapons to make its army more effective. A powerful army was established, relying not only on legionaries but also on the warriors of integrated Germanic tribes. This made the empire more secure against external threats. Christianity also spread differently in this stable environment. The Church grew under the patronage of a strong Roman Empire, not fragmented small kingdoms. This strengthened the Church's central authority, but made it more difficult for it to blend with local beliefs. With no external threats, the empire turned inward and focused more on art and science. Cities like Alexandria and Athens remained centers of science and philosophy. This allowed for an early Renaissance-like period. Agriculture and trade in the empire continued to develop. The Mediterranean remained the internal sea of a single empire. This increased the security of trade and raised the level of prosperity of the Mediterranean cities. The non-occurrence of the migration period fundamentally changed the ethnic and political map of Europe. Germanic kingdoms were not established. Peoples like the Franks, Visigoths, and Anglo-Saxons continued their existence as small principalities loyal to Rome in their own regions. The political and administrative structure of the Roman Empire also evolved according to these new conditions. The central government established a new model of governance by cooperating with local tribal leaders. This allowed for the preservation of local identities. Thanks to this stability, Roman architecture and engineering progressed even further. Bridges, aqueducts, and roads were made more durable and aesthetic. The infrastructure network, stretching from Italy to Britain, strengthened the unity of the empire. The Middle Ages, as we know them, did not begin. The period of fragmented kingdoms, which laid the groundwork for the formation of the feudal system did not happen. A strong central authority prevented the formation of land-based principalities in Europe. The Byzantine Empire was also affected by this situation. With the Western Roman Empire surviving, Byzantium spent less effort on defending its own borders. The two empires ruled together over the trade and politics of the Mediterranean. The rise of Islam also led to a different picture. A strong and united Roman Empire prevented the spread of Islam into Europe. The two civilizations remained neighbors who traded peacefully at their borders. Thanks to this stability, technological developments accelerated in Europe. Rome's knowledge of engineering and mechanics paved the way for new inventions. Many new machines triggered the Industrial Revolution much earlier than in our timeline. Science developed independently of religious control. Philosophy and natural sciences were freely debated in Rome's academic circles. This led to the scientific revolution starting much earlier. Art and architecture also continued to develop in this stable environment. Churches and temples were built with the grandeur of Roman architecture. Sculptures and paintings were made in a realistic and elegant style. The survival of the Western Roman Empire prevented the formation of modern nation-states. National identities like France, Germany, or Spain remained as the identities of local tribes. The map of Europe consisted of the provinces and cities of Rome. In this alternate history, feudalism and the manorial system never formed. Peasants remained free citizens, and lands were managed by the central government. This allowed for social equality to be better preserved. East and West Rome, although politically separate, formed a culturally united structure. Greco-Roman culture became a common identity throughout the Mediterranean basin. This allowed Europe and the Near East to remain as a united civilization. In this stable period, law also continued to develop. Roman law evolved to form the basis of modern constitutional systems. Concepts of civil rights and citizenship emerged much earlier. Rome's survival led to a different blend of Latin culture in regions like Latin America, replacing Spanish and Portuguese culture. This resulted in modern South America having a completely different ethnic and linguistic structure. The empire's stability prevented the formation of feudalism in the Middle Ages. Land remained under the control of the central government, not the nobles. In this way, power and wealth were not distributed to small principalities, and the principle of equality was better preserved. With the non-occurrence of the migration period, the Slavic tribes did not spread into Eastern Europe. This allowed Roman and Byzantine culture to be more dominant in Eastern Europe. This also caused Slavic languages and cultures to evolve differently. The Vikings also did not spread into Europe because of this stable empire. Their maritime skills were used more for trade between Scandinavia and northern Britain. This limited the impact the Vikings had on European civilizations. In this alternate history, the Industrial Revolution happened earlier and faster, combining with Rome's technological and engineering knowledge. Steam power was blended with Roman engineering, leading to the emergence of new machines. In the 18th and 19th centuries, a form of government similar to a modern constitutional monarchy emerged in the Roman Empire. Although the emperor was still the highest authority, an assembly representing the people was established. Political stability, combined with scientific and technological advances, strengthened Rome's cultural superiority over other civilizations. Rome remained a worldwide beacon of civilization and technology. In the 20th century, the Roman Empire still existed. However, nationalist movements began to emerge in different regions of the empire. The empire struggled with these movements to maintain its unity. Rome's cultural legacy profoundly influenced modern art and science. Latin literature was read throughout Europe, and philosophy became the foundation of modern science. Art evolved by blending classical Roman aesthetics with new forms. In conclusion, the non-occurrence of the migration period put the modern world on a completely different path. Rome's legacy determined the political, cultural, and technological development of Europe and the world. History whispers how this single event led to such a great change.